Look at the arms. In an attempt to fix that damage, we have to take off the compression arm. And when we're taking off the compression arm, we had a bolt or a nut that snapped off with the thread. Now, obviously I knew this was pretty serious. Now we've snapped that single bolt, there is a potential that that could write off the whole car. And I'm not even joking.
Okay, so we got to fix this, the most important thing. So we've got a welder in. He's just found like a high strength bolt there, which is the same like thread pitch and size. We grind off the head, and then we grinded off the old thread on the stud, just matching them up. And then what they do here is they kind of grind them down to like a pinch, like a taper. And then they do the same thing to the stud on the car. So they're grinding that down to a taper. And that's just so they've got a place to fill it with weld to make it strong. So you can see there the two tapers, they put the two tapers together and then they're just tack welding it just to make sure it goes on straight. So now what they're going to do is they're going to fill those two, the gaps with weld. And that just makes it so much stronger than just obviously just welding around the outside. So he's just filling it with weld there, and then now he's grinding it down to the same taper it was before. Luckily, the snap wasn't on the actual taper, it was on like the straight bit of the bolt. So this made this a hell of a lot easier. I've seen some jobs which actually snap on the taper. So look how good that looks. It looks brand new there. And then what we do is at the end, we just put the arm back on, and this is their strength test. So that gun is like so strong. And they said if it's going to snap, it will snap on this gun. And they literally gunned the hell out of that ball. And it was strong.
Good morning everybody, good morning everybody. Now I know we've been doing a lot of off-roading videos recently and I know that everybody is absolutely loving the off-road videos, which is amazing. Now I haven't forgot about this car, trust me, I can't forget about this car. It's on jack stands right in the middle of the drive, I can't forget about it. But the issue is, obviously I'm sure you've been having a lot of issues with the post over the Christmas season, and I've been having terrible issues with the post this Christmas season. So an arm got sent out which I badly needed, the compression arm, we badly needed it, it got sent out, and then that one got lost. It was like 7 days delayed, 10 days delayed, and I messaged the supplier, I was like, look, I know it's not your fault, but what we're going to do about it, because it's obviously lost and they're not telling us it's lost. So they sent out another one using the same company that they sent out the other one with, and then that one got delayed by like 3 days. Anyway, they turned up, and actually both of them turned up, so now I have 2 compression arms. So today, it's not raining, it has been, it's 90% chance, so it is going to rain, so I'm ready for the rain. But today, we're going to put back the 350Z and pray that we can actually get it driving straight today, and hopefully there's no more damage that we've not seen yet. We've got to drive to Kieran's because we took the coil over yesterday. We managed to get the coil over straight, or at least I think it's straight. So I need to go and pick up the coil because I forgot it yesterday. But today, let's pray we can get the 350Z back together. But anyway, let's just crack on. Okay, so here are the things we need here. That's just some sandpaper and stuff. We've got a tie rod here from Conceptual Tuning. I actually got a lot of S13 parts in these guys, and they're quite good. So we've got a new tie rod there. That's actually an OEM one, I believe. We need to put our tie rod spacer on there, and we need to grind this down. I forgot about that. We need to grind this down so obviously we can get the track. Remember in a few episodes ago where once you put the tie rod spacer on, it just massively toes in. So we need to chop that down with the grinder, chop a lot off actually. Luckily I can reuse the old trap rod, so I want to chop that down as well, hopefully not. Here we actually have some poly-bushed control arms. Now I got these from Neville Davies. Remember Neville who sent me all the S13 parts, and Neville had these. I've heard a lot of people say in the comments, so thank you for commenting, that these bushes are literally renowned for pushing through the arm. So I managed to get some poly-bush ones which will not push through the arm, and that's just going to be better for the front end. And then here is the thing that took literally months to come, which is our new compression arm. So we also need to grind down the bump stop as well. But we've got everything here. The coilover's at Kieran's, but we can actually start putting this together now and see if actually the subframe is bent or not. Okay, so literally the first thing we're going to do, we're going to come down here and we're going to put this arm into here and make sure it goes in and make sure it's actually coming out straight, okay? Because if we need to do any more whacking, then we know where we're going to need to do whacking. So the plan is pretty much all we're going to do is we're going to put everything back together, and the main thing is just pretty much see if everything kind of just bolts in nicely, or if anything's off, if the hub's over here, the hub's too far out. If everything kind of bolts in nicely, then you're going to be all right. Okay, so we're going to put the arm on there. We're not going to fully bolting everything down. Let's bring the hub up and let's smash the hub in, because this is going to sit on this low ball joint here. So let's bolt the hub in there and let's just see if, first of all, this goes on straight. Right, so we're just getting these two top arms in, which I have to go this one first. If I put this one in first, this one just won't line up, so I've had to go that one first, get that threaded in. So what we can do is now, this arm will sit on there. So we're going to gun that down. Now already, that's looking pretty central, but this is where it gets fun, guys, because when we put the banana arm on the compression arm, that will tell us if we're straight or not. Get an idea, I'm excited, please. Please, I don't want to buy any more parts and wait 16,000 weeks for some fucking delivery. Right, so we're going to come underneath. Just going to put the banana arm on. We don't need to gun it down just yet so we can get underneath. But let's just put it on. Oh my god, this is scary. Okay, let's put it round on. Let's put it up here. I'm not happy at all. Look at these arms. This is the one that came off. Look at the taper. This is the one that they've sent. Unless this comes off, I'm seriously going to lose my shit with it. The only way I can think of is that if this comes off, but I've tried to get it off, but like before I even did this video, but it's welded on there. I'll try and get it off, but for now I'm just heating this up because I need to get this trap rod end off. So I'm going to put some heat on this nut because I tried to get it off last time, and it's yeah, it's pretty on there. Okay, someone literally just said blow torch the tapered bit and it'll pop off. So let's give that a go. Whoa, green flame, you see that, boys? Whoa, big sense. Okay, I literally wish I got that on camera. It just popped. Oh, yes, yes. Thank you, Facebook group 350 said. Some guy just said. I'm going to get his name, hang on. I'm going to get his name. Come here, my guy. Come here, my guy. Chris Smith on Facebook. Sorry, it's a bit. Chris Smith, Facebook. Blowtorch tape a bit and it'll pop off. My guy, it literally worked. What a fucking legend. I can't get this trap rod off the tie rod. We want to keep the tie rod. We want to keep the trap rod, sorry. And the nut, ideally. Oh, mate, honestly, I don't understand why everything's just fucking seized itself all of a sudden. Fuck hammers, boys. You boys just done it brute strength. What do you mean? Just one of these, like a nice little chest fly. Daddy's got it. Come on. She's coming. At least now I don't have to go and find another stupid nut, which is fine thread M14. Finding this nut, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna grind it off, and I was like, wait, do you not remember the stress that we went through to get this damn nut? And then I was like, oh yes, I remembered. Let's not grind it off. But we need to cut down the new tie rod to the same length as this. Actually, even shorter, a bit shorter, because it was still towed in a bit last time. Love this blowtorch. Although I'm still not knackered. I'm still not very good at lighting it. Doing it with these gloves don't help. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely ruined. Also, we need to get this off there as well, so we need to use this on the other one. So now we need to figure out how the footwork. Oh, it's pretty loose actually. Oh, it's pretty loose. Oh, that's good. I mean, it's a bit worrying why that was loose and it was on the car like that, but it's fine. We got it off. It's cool. Okay, so now we can focus on the arm again. So now remember this thing, we're going to put that back on there, and now we're actually going to go and put the arm back on the car, and then back to the video, and hopefully that this now bloody works, you know. Hope it bloody does. Gun it down, and hopefully this time it will actually gun down into the thing, and then put it up on there, and then let's see finally if we're gonna be straight. Right guys, I've just bolted everything up and tightened everything up, and to me that looks pretty bang on, right? So that's bolted in straight here. Nothing's touching. So we're clear there. It does touch the coilover like here. Well, it's still not even touching, but like that's way more lock than I'm ever gonna get. Never gonna get that much lock. So I suppose once we get the tie rod on, we're gonna have to go full lock and see if it hits. But I think like everything lines up fine. The coilover's bolted in, the coilover's bolted down here. The only way we're going to fully know is to put the other side back together. We are going to change this arm. So we're going to put this arm on the other side, because obviously we've got the pulley bushes. And then see if we've got the same amount of clearance. But literally, guys, obviously that's just hitting the bump stop, which we need to cut down a little bit, just because of lock things. But I think that's okay. I mean, it looks a little bit off here, but I think that's just the shape of the arm. I've gone in the side, it doesn't look that much different. But what we're going to do is we're going to obviously just finish this side off. So we need to cut down the tie rod. We need to do that anyway. So we're going to cut down the tie rod, cut down this bump stop with the grinder, and we're going to put the other arm on, which is going to be a pain because I've not got that arm off yet. So remember we have to bloody deal with all the bloody split pin that's rusted inside the bloody thread and all that. We're going to have to deal with that again, but we need to change that arm. And then that's when we're going to be able to tell if it is fully straight or not. So we're going to put that arm on, and then just basically measure it with our eye to make sure it's equal on each side. But I am really hopeful, I'm not gonna lie. I'm quite excited now because I really want to drive the damn thing. Yes, things looking up, guys. This comes, the new tie rod comes with a nut. I don't know why I thought it wouldn't. What are you talking about? But yes, it comes with a nut, but you'll have to find an M14 1.25 nut. Right, so we need to cut this down, and I'm going to cut the trap rod a little bit further down as well, because I've got tons more thread in there. Like absolutely tons more thread, and I definitely don't need that much, and that's what's stopping us from getting the right toe, because it's just too far towed in. So let's cut this down, let's cut down the tie rod, and let's do some big sense. Okay, so we've got everything sorted. This is the old tie rod. We've chopped off the end of that so we can get the boot out. So there's the boot. The clip's around here somewhere, which I'll find. This is the new tie rod and the old trap rod, but the old trap rod's been chopped down and the old tie rod's been chopped down further, so we should be able to get proper toe out. This is the tie rod space which we're going to put in the tie rod, and now that's pretty much all the grinding we need to do, so we can get back to the car and start putting everything back together. So we need to put this inside the steering rack first. Then we need to bolt this to the rack spacer. And then we're going to see how much lock we can get and see if we're actually hitting anything. Okay, so we've got the rack spacer on there, lots of thread locker, screw it on, and then always just tighten it with a hammer. I always just get a brake, get something on it like this, tighten it with the hammer, make sure that's dead tight. And then now, more thread lock on here, and we'll thread lock this in. So the good news is, now we've got the trap rod like that, we have like loads of toe out. So now we've got really good adjustment. So let's just tow it back in a little bit because it was a bit crazy there. Okay guys, I don't want to make anybody nervous. What's that bolt from? What's that nut from? But I don't want to make anybody nervous. Everything is literally back together. Everything's back together. Everything's tight. When I thought it was towed out, it actually wasn't. The wheel was just the left, so the wheel's straight, and now we've got plenty of room to tow in and tow out safely, which is great. Obviously we're still need to put the brace back on, but for now I just want to make sure it's all, you know, it is straight, it's fine. So we've got to do one more thing. We've got to just grind off the bump stop here. So we're just going to half it. It's going to half this bump stop. That's going to make it equal to the other side, so we've got the same lock either side. And then we're going to check the specs and the spaces and the gaps. I'm feeling confident though, because right now, like, it looks great and it feels great. Everything, like, it feels fine to me. Okay, so the wheel's straight. That means all suspension's sat exactly the same. Let's come and check and have a look at gaps. So the main thing I was worried about was the gap between the suspension and the arm. So I'm going to pull my hand in down here, and I can just get my fingers through. That was really the only thing that even looked remotely close. Everything else looks pretty bang on. So let's go over to the side and let's just test that. See if that's pretty much straight. That's between both the arms. So let's come around here. I'm gonna have to use my other hand, and I could just get my fingers through. Yes. Woohoo! I think that's pretty good, guys. I actually think that's good. Let's just, obviously we've got to take them bloody bolts off the compression arms. Let's put the brace on,
I can't put every single bolt in, but it's not really a big deal. They're only like 14 mils anyway, so not going to go crazy. But I think I've ruined like 3. So we put most of the bolts in the most structural places. They're the bolts. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think I've got like 2 or 3 which are ruined. Let's put the brakes back on and let's go for a drive. I mean, the tracking is going to be all over the place. I have no idea where the tracking is, but I've got it somewhat straight by eye, so it obviously going to need an alignment, but let's just put the brakes on. Let's just put the brakes on.
Okay, now this would be a lot easier with 2 people. I used to do shot my own, so it's fine. I'm going to get the 2 main structural bolts on first. First of all, I'm going to make sure I've got my gun, otherwise I'll be under there and I'll be coming right back out. So I've got the nut there. So I'm just going to put the 2 main structural ones on, which is the thing we got welded. I'm going to put them on, and that'll just hold it up. We have tested this when we welded it. And it lines up good. Let's just gun this down quick. Then we'll just do the other one, and then we just put in the 14 mils. Bada bing, bada boom. If we need to loosen it a little bit just so we get a little bit of leverage, we can do that. Actually, I'm going to do that now, actually. Not leverage, but a little bit of movement to get the bolts in, do you know what I mean? And then we just gun them all up tight once they're all threaded.
How annoying is this, right? So I used to have the brake caliper like dangling down here, but it's got to go round the coilover, then back through this bit and then on. So you've got to take the coilover off if you've not perfectly got the wiring right. Because I've got it over here, I managed to squeeze it for over here, but then now it doesn't come around this way because the brake, it needs to go around the back of that. So yeah, this is annoying as shit, and I'm not so annoying because I just know that I'm going to do it and I'm going to put the coilover in wrong and I can take the fucking coilover off and take the brakes off and blah 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 blah. Okay, so all the suspension is back on, the brakes are on, literally. I mean, there's a load of surface rust on there, so oh, let's get that fucking, that's not good. I need to peel that back out of the way. Not sure what's happened there, but we need to push that guard back. Everything's back on. What I'm going to do is where the paint rubbed from last time, from the wheel being here, and obviously where I've left it, there's a tiny bit of rust here, and a tiny bit of rust there. So what I'm going to do is, and obviously there's a bit of metal there as well, so let's go some sandpaper. Just going to brush off the rust. Like, that'll take literally like 3 seconds. Just put mask where the, just sand where the metal is, get off all the rust. And I'm just going to put like just a thin layer of like rubberized paint, so I'm just going to do that quickly. There we go, doesn't have to be pretty. Okay, let's get the wheels on and jack the car down for the first time in like maybe a month, almost a month, 3 weeks. So everything's on. We're obviously going to need a new wheel and obviously a new tyre, but I've been looking for some like 19s for the fronts anyway, so I want some different wheels on the front, so I like just using these on the back, so this will just be a one for the back. So I am looking for some 19 inches for the front because this tyre is ruined as well, but at least I can just, you know, use this to take it on a quick drive just to make sure everything's okay and bolt it together. So there we go, the 350, it is back together. It's looking very sorry for itself right now. As I said, we do need some new front wheels to the front, but I can just take it on a quick drive around the block just to make sure that everything's okay and tight. And you know, now it's going to drive absolutely horrendous because it does need an alignment, but what we're going to do is we're going to get the new wheels. I have been looking, but I'm going to really look tonight, get 2 new front wheels, get them on the fronts, and I need to sort the fitment out anyway, because we need to push the wheel out a lot further, because right now it is hitting on full lock because obviously the wheel's so skinny. Not skinny, but the offset's so small. So in the next episode, we're going to take it for a proper drive, make sure it's all good, take it to get aligned, make sure it's all straight, and then if it is all straight, it's all good, we're going to go over all the costs of what it cost me to fix this versus the cost of what a garage would charge or an insurance company would charge to fix a crash like that. Just to show you guys that you can do this, and when you go into garages and stuff and when they quote you thousands of pounds to do things, you can do it yourself. It's not that difficult. Now this has been a lot harder because it's obviously we've had some things snap and break and button, you know, but that's just the way of modifying cars. But for now, I love you all and we'll see you in that next video.